Hello friends, it's Techman Pat here, and today we're gonna be talking about Google Stadia. Yes, it's coming. It's been revealed with a lot more information recently, and unfortunately it's not coming to Australia anytime soon, or at least not now. Hey Ghost! Guys, come here. Come here, you're gonna be in a video. Come on, jump up. Jump up here. Give us a cuddle. Good boy, good boy. Okay, so Google Stadia, what exactly is it? Well, first of all, it's just a streaming service. And just a streaming service is kind of an understatement, because let's be perfectly honest, there is plenty of streaming services out there. This one is for gamers, for video games, really. You're gonna get to stream video games from a online cloud server back to your device locally. So it could be a console, it could be, well, what could it be? It could actually be anything. And Google says things like the Google Chromecast Ultra will be able to be used. It's gonna be your computer, your Chrome browser, and all you might need is a controller, and off you go. So that will be connected straight to your Wi-Fi, to the Google Chrome that you might have on your TV. And potentially you could be playing 4K, 60 framed, high quality games. And that's actually pretty exciting, except you're going to need very, very good internet. Don't get me wrong, it is exciting, it's got huge potentials, but you're gonna have to get really good internet. So where do we start? Well, you need 35 megabits per second for 4K 60 frames, which is actually quite reasonable and very close to what you would use for YouTube streaming. So that same high quality that you might get on YouTube can actually potentially be streamed down to you to play. So obviously there's a couple of caveats. If your speed is not good enough, your quality will go down. And that is, if you can manage 10 megabits per second, you'll be able to play 720p, which is pretty much like playing a console, and 60 frames, which is kind of not like playing a console. It's kind of like playing a portable gaming station, let's say a Nintendo Switch. I was thinking PSP because those could actually do about 560p and also 30 to 60 frames depending on the game. Now, obviously, internet in Australia is not the best, and it's not coming out in Australia anytime soon. So what's the average speed? Well, for example, let me give you a bit of a comparison. The average speed in the United States is 18.7 megabits per second, and in Australia, it's 11.1 megabits per second. Now, data caps are a bit rarer in Australia, meaning there's a lot of options to pay a little bit more and get a lot more data to actually use. But I guess in the United States, apparently it's a bit of a problem, and apparently there will be issues because of the amount of data this kind of actual usage can use. Because remember, it's not just a video, it's being cached on servers. You're generating that video on a server, somewhere on a server farm, and it's consistently live. There's no caching servers around the country to get that video to you quicker, because it's absolutely live. So it'll always depend on your location to the server, and that's why it's a limited release at the moment. Now, if you're in Perth, like I am, unfortunately, most of the servers will be in the eastern states. So we'll still have a very crappy ping, very crappy connection and latency, because we already do that now with most of the games we play online. Now, as I mentioned, Stadia can work on any device. However, you'll be limited to, hopefully, if you have it at home, 5G Wi-Fi, because with 2G, I even had a hard time streaming just the Chrome browser to my TV over Wi-Fi, over the standard 2.4 gigahertz. So 5G is a must, or cable. So if you're using a computer with cable, that should be fine. But if you've already got a gaming computer, I mean, you're not gonna play it, so potentially this is for those guys who might have a below average computer and wanna have some high quality games. Now, the Switch is still the king of portability, and even now it's getting its own Witcher 3 version, so maybe even Cyberpunk one day. So while some of these games that are gonna be coming out on the Stadia are gonna be really, really important for it to be successful. Now, even Microsoft announced recently that their devices or their consoles will be used as a streaming platform too. So it might be a hybrid approach, they mentioned, and we'll find out more when it actually comes around to them giving you a full demo of it. But that's very interesting. And even Sony and Microsoft have teamed up to work on something together, and this cloud gaming thing is probably the future. They have to compete against Google now, who's in the gaming era. Now, you still have to pay for the games. Yes, there is a subscription amount, which is $10 a month, and you still have to buy individual games. Now, there is a pro version, or what does that actually mean? Like professional? Who is a professional Stadia player? In any case, I really hate the overuse of pro. Oh, this product is pro. No, it's just a consumer that's a bit more expensive, has a bit more features, doesn't actually make it a professional type of product. In any case, besides the point. Now, using Stadia, you'll be able to play most games that you purchase. So one-off purchases, you'll be able to play them on Stadia. You will be limited to a smaller resolution and smaller quality until you pay for that higher quality to get the 4K. So all the Stadia Pro plan, which is that $10 USD per month, actually gives you is 4K quality, nothing actually more. So the way I imagine it is this: you are renting a console and using that console, and that's that $10 rather than paying, $300, $400 for a brand new console. That's gonna be your console, that subscription. And then whatever games you buy are gonna be separate from that, because it's probably for the good of the gaming industry that Google isn't going for this Spotify, Netflix model, because the way they would have to pay the developers, and this is something the developers have been worried about, would be something along the lines of maybe hours played, or maybe the total amount of players. And if that happens, developers, or actually I guess the publishers, would force games on Stadia that are very grindy, time consuming, but not necessarily actually good quality, just to keep you on that platform playing their games so they can make more money from Google. Now, obviously, hopefully, there is a point where, let's say, a single player game is going to be less valuable to be on a Stadia platform. And that's not hopefully, I suppose, it's just something that might happen. So it's a very good idea that Google hasn't gone that route. Unfortunately, what it means for the consumer is that that's what we were excited about. A monthly subscription to play the latest video games without having the hardware. So what does Stadia actually change for the market? Nothing really. It's going to become just another console, and if you have a computer that might be less powerful, or a TV with the Google Chrome Ultra, you'll be able to play some video games. Now, it's going to be 31 games when it first comes out, and they're not the most particularly exciting. Cyberpunk is unfortunately not on the list, but that's 12 months away, or 10 at least, roughly. So hoping that the games that are going to come out of it is going to be the reason for you to buy it. But if you're going to buy those games and you already have a console, or you already have a PC, you might already buy it on those devices and then not pay for another subscription. Because of that, there are already concerns about the few rights we have as gamers when we buy games through platforms like Steam, Origin, or Ubisoft. And Stadia takes us even further away from that ownership. What happens when Google shuts down Stadia? You think that wouldn't happen? Well, look, there is actually a website, and I'll link that below, that has a cemetery of all the projects Google has just shut down or thrown away without it, not that it wasn't popular or it wasn't very good, they just decided, nope, we're done with that. Let's talk about portability. Some of the most popular games already exist on phones. With Fortnite, Hearthstone, PUBG, and eventually League of Legends available on phones, it's already possible to play the world's most popular games with very common hardware. You don't need an ultra-high PC or laptop or console to join in that party. Look, a hypothetical frequent Stadia user would probably play games like Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, maybe Tomb Raider, nothing competitive. Like nothing that actually requires a lot of speed and skill from you. Now, they'll want to play it on the highest graphics, and they don't really care about portability. Because if they cared about portability, this wouldn't even be the nearest thing they want to use. They probably already have an above average internet connection and great Wi-Fi signal. Their TV and other devices are either wired or on that 5G connection, and probably already plays a lot of games. This kind of person is gonna potentially buy this. However, I'm not sure how long they're gonna use this because of the $10 per month subscription just to play the 4K streaming. On that note, Google does say that they will give a discount to buying games on Stadia, which I surely hope they will, because there's no way you're going to be paying for a full product and not actually get the full benefit of that product, e.g. nothing higher than, 720p 60 frames, and then have to pay more to get the high quality. That just doesn't make sense. Now, perhaps a more likely scenario is that a less frequent Stadia user might be an existing PC gamer who's using old hardware to play staples like CSGO, but occasionally wants to play graphically intensive games like that of Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed on high quality. Now, assuming the system actually works, it could find a niche there, but only a niche. You see, speed will be the biggest issue of this platform. If players experience too many dropouts, too many frustrations, it's going to fall apart quite quickly. And it won't necessarily be Google's problem, like it won't be their servers, it'll be the actual person's connection, but they won't want to put up with that. They're not going to be paying for a service that doesn't perform very well. And that's a big risk Google is taking. I mean, look at NVIDIA's grid. Exactly, look at it. Where is it? It's not nationwide, it's not anywhere. Origin, on the other hand, the platform created for games for EA, that actually has a subscription where you get to play games. You just download them to your device and off you go and you play it and you have a subscription. That seems like a better model. But again, it doesn't really help the gaming industry in regards to what games to put out. Not everybody's going to make a good amount from subscription service. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Stadia going to be a hit, or is it going to be a flop by Google in about 2 years? That's my prediction. In 2 years' time, maybe on that third year, Google's going to shut it down, or probably not stretch it as far as Australia. We're probably never going to get to even play it. Now, hopefully, there is a chance to play it. I'm going to try and use some VPNs and test it out. I know VPNs is the worst thing for a streaming service, but why not? Why not give it a test? Now guys, if you like videos like this, let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video, and I'll chat to you guys below about Stadia, because it's quite exciting. I'm not going to try and cover all the technicalities of it. I'm just sort of worried about the actual ideal of it. I don't know if it's going to work very well. I know it's the future. I know streaming is the future, but I don't know if this solution is going to be the perfect solution. If it is, I'm going to be very excited, because that's going to be replacing consoles. Because if you can have a little controller connected to a TV without any hardware, and you have a good internet, and you can play the latest game with very low cost, I think buying games individually is going to be a problem. But if you can do it with a controller and a TV and a subscription, maybe even $20 a month, maybe even $30, but I get to play all the games I want at any time. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in another one. Bye. 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 Ghost, say bye-bye. All right. I want to get up now. Are you going to let me get up? Ghost, you going to let me get up? I need to edit videos. I'm going to edit the video, Ghost. Oh, God. Okay. Good dog. Good dog.